and I just arrived at the middle school today, which is Tuesday, and everything looks quiet. It's been real quiet here. I don't know if this is a trend across the country or not, but I got to thinking about it the other day that each year the enrollment seems to drop in this public school system that I work in. And I wouldn't be surprised if that were true in other locales as well. I think it's what I refer to as a quiet resistance to the, forgive me, I'm going to maybe offend some of you, but the nonsense that has been taught lately, the last, 5-6 years, maybe longer, 10 years. It's all nonsense. They're teaching stuff that is not only nonsense, but unproductive for the young adults who attend the schools, and they should be getting a better education and less time spent on things that should be taken care of at home, if you know what I mean. But I hear it all the time. I ask the kids questions, and here in Massachusetts they have something called the MCAS test, which is it's actually a test to see how well the school system is conducting the educational program and if they are indeed following the format laid out by the state of Massachusetts. But in reality, they are, as I tell the kids who always get nervous whenever they have to participate in some testing program, I tell them they're not testing you, they are testing the teachers, because if you don't do well on the test, it's because the curriculum is either wrong or isn't set up properly, or the teachers are not presenting it properly. And if they're not presenting it properly, then naturally the kids are not going to do as well as they should. I find a lot of kids get down before and after MCAS exams, but that's just one example of what's going on. And going back to the exams for 1 second, I also find that kids that generally are upbeat and do pretty well in school. I'll talk to the kids. How'd you do? Did you get your report card? And some of the kids, they just put their head down. They don't want to talk about it. Other kids, oh yeah, I made the honor roll. And I said, do you normally make the honor roll? I usually do pretty good, and my parents will be happy. And so kids that are generally bright and do well on exams and get high marks don't seem to be familiar with a lot of the material that they're being tested on. I ask a lot of probing questions because I'm a taxpayer, and although I don't have children in the public school up here, I still want to know what's going on and how they're spending my tax money. So anyway, again, that's just one example of the nature of education now. It's more about, listen, I'm dead against bullying. I think kids who bully should be reprimanded to the maximum and probably suspended if it becomes a problem. But they have classes on this now and they devote weeks and sometimes longer than that on, how do I put it, they're proud of a particular aspect of our society, and they feel that the school should be celebrating it. I don't agree with that. If the group wants to celebrate it, that's fine. I don't think my money should be spent, or the children's precious time that they could be receiving real education should be spent on again, nonsense, what I consider nonsense. And then there is the making sure that they understand the new gender program. And all of this stuff to me is is a waste of valuable time and talent. I think a lot of these kids are bright, but there's only, if you factor in a school day, by the time they get to school on the bus, get off the bus, or walk or get driven and get into the class, and then they're taking attendance and they're doing other stuff, and by the time they actually get into the actual learning process, they probably wasted close to an hour. And then, midday, lunch and, recess and some announcements from the office and actual education time. They go here from 7:40 to 2:25, so it's roughly 7 hours or whatever. And I'd say maybe 4 hours of that is learning. The other 3 is wasted nonsense. And I think it could be fixed, but it requires an effort by people who are the parents, concerned teachers who understand what's really going on, and that there's not a whole lot of education going on as far as I can tell. And it's too bad because the kids are smart. I alluded to this in another video that I'm very impressed with the younger generation, and I think they could really excel if they were, I don't know, I went to parochial school up until the 10th grade, and I was telling a friend of mine yesterday that I remember when I went into the 10th grade in a public school, a good public school, by the way, and I thought I was like 2 years ahead of them. Some of the stuff they were teaching as a sophomore in high school, I had in the 8th grade. So, I've seen the difference. I've witnessed the difference in the educational process in parochial versus public school. And again, I feel bad for the kids because they really need every bit of education they can get. Today's world is cruel, it's hard. It should be more education regarding economics, teaching children how to make a budget, how to prepare for, living on their own. And I know these kids are only junior high kids, but, high school goes by quick. The next 5-6 years of education goes by real quick, and then a lot of them will be in college, a lot of them won't. And to have that economic training behind you would be a big, big help, I think, and would really facilitate some kids, especially kids who don't go on to higher education, to maybe learn how to buy a house and save money and invest money in safe investments, that long-term investments. So, I've been tossing around a lot of things in my head, and that was one of them. So I thought I'd jump on. I had a few minutes before I have to get out of the car and pass it on to you guys and see what you think. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon.